Hi, I'm Kathy Dodson.
And I'm Jocelyn Lindsay. Welcome to another episode of 5 Minute Indie Insights. Because we went to the AuthorNation conference, so you don't have to, but you really should think about going next year.
That's right. So we're going to give you an overview of some of the things that we learned and thought were important in the conference. And overall, we're going to break it down into three categories. Why do you go to this conference? Well, number one, you go to learn and be inspired by authors who are ahead of you in where they're going. And then you also go to network and to meet other people, which is really important. And then the third thing is they have something called RAVE, which is a book fair on the back end of it. And we wanted to talk a little bit about that.
Yeah.
So Jocelyn, what did you think about learning, inspiration? What was your big takeaway?
I, that week it's so inspiring and it's so in the information is like gold. And I kind of feel like that whole week is like running in front of the avalanche down the mountain because there every time you turn around you're learning something new. And the big thing I learned is the minute I learned something I have to write it down. And I have to write it down someplace where I can find it again because there were so many nuggets. There was so many good things that yeah, there was just no way to keep track of it in the moment because everything was happening. So I have something like 60 pages of notes
Oh
because
my
I
gosh.
just kept writing and writing and writing and writing.
Absolutely. I mean, I did the same thing. I have my little notebook. I have a list of like I don't know, 12 things that I need to do on my stuff to improve them like right away.
Yeah.
Some of which I've done, not all of it. But yeah, I mean, I learned a lot from the website guy. I learned a lot from this like major author who just spent like an hour and 200 PowerPoint slides talking about Amazon ads. But there were some great nuggets of wisdom in there.
Oh
And
yeah.
then regarding being inspired, man, there was this thriller author who just, he's extremely successful. Everything that came out of his mouth just,
Yeah.
was so important.
Yeah, yeah. I just felt like every time I turned around, there was something new to like put in my brain somewhere. And I came away with a huge list of things I want to do. And this last week, since we were at the conference, I've been trying to narrow it down to like the top three things to do now, three things to do in a month, three things I want to work towards for a year. Because otherwise, it's a fire hose in the face.
Right.
And I didn't want to like come home and just like it's too hard to think of all of this. So I'm not going to do anything. I didn't want to be paralysis by perfection. I
Right.
didn't want to do that. So it's just like trying
Yes.
to not be overwhelmed.
Breaking it down into bite-sized pieces is a great idea. And by the way, for those of you out there, the big theme was AI. We're going to be discussing that in a separate video. This is more kind of all the other things out there. And there's so many, whether it's things you learn from vendors, they have a great vendor fair,
Yeah.
or just things you learn from other writers in the sessions. So
Yeah.
to keep us on track, let's move on to networking. You did something super smart. You set up some meetings with authors before you even got to the conference. Talk to us a little bit about that.
Yeah, so over the last, I don't know, the last 6 months or a year, especially since uh I'd say, yeah, especially in the last year, I've been reaching out and trying to start connecting with some of the authors that I've been watching. Not just because they write amazing books, but because I'm looking at them as business owners, as entrepreneurs. What are they doing? How are they branding themselves? How are they selling books? Where are they selling? So I've been watching a lot of people to see, can I learn something from them? And can I have conversations with them? A couple of these authors I reached out to in the month or so before and said, "Hey, I know you're going to Author Nation. Can I get you a cup of coffee? Can we have chat. I'd love to meet you in person. I have some questions for you because I've been following them for a while. So I had specific reasons to meet with them, other than I just think, because part of me is just like, fangirl, you're cool. And, but it's like, what can I learn from them? And what specifically can I learn from them? And so I had several conversations with several authors further down the road than I am. It was so valuable, so valuable.
Yeah, that's really great. It's a really smart thing to do. But I want to say, even if you don't do that, the conference this year was set up where before the conference they had broken into regions. So like Jocelyn and I are on the West Coast, we're part of the Western
Em-
Nation
Western
Empire.
Empire.
Empire. The
We
Western
are
Empire.
an empire.
And so there's Discord channels and things like that. So by region, there's also a digital nomad one that I hooked up with, and they're going to have meetings after the conference. So in addition to your normal, hey, you meet people, is sitting in a session, or they have great sitting areas just wherever, or at a genre-based meeting. So they had like meetups for romance and a meetup for mystery and crime and for sci-fi and all these different things. So there's a lot of different ways to build out your networking. You don't just have to worry about going there and kind of standing on the wall, hoping
Yeah,
someone comes up to you and talks to you. It's not that kind of conference. It's
no.
very open.
Well, and it's very community oriented. And I think one of the things that's the driving force behind, well, I know this, that's the driving force behind this conference is we go further together. And this is really about in this time after the conference, it's finding accountability partners. It's finding people to help you. It's the conference is really wants everybody to be successful, and that networking community buddy, partner in crime is just one facet of that. And so I was really thrilled to see that there's a place for everybody to get involved.
Yeah, it was great. So finally, Rave, the big book fair. Do you want to describe what Rave was like?
So rave is it it's gearing towards a reader. It's shifting from really kind of being a writer event at the old 20 books, where it was for writers to see, I think, what writers were doing, to really being geared towards bringing in readers and becoming a full on reader book signing author spotlight event. And so we had tables. If we're as authors, we could get tables, half a table or a full table. And I went in there with no expectations other than put together a cool table and have a lot of fun. And so my expectations were totally met.
Yeah, I thought it was super interesting. I got half a table, ended up sharing, they based them on genre, so ended up sharing with a mystery crime writer from Texas. Had a lot of fun meeting him. I will say the place that Rave was this year, which is where the conference has always been, is kind of like miles from. It would take a reader a long time and a lot of work to get there. Next year, they're moving it to the Paris conference rooms,
Yeah.
which is like right off the parking area, right off this major thoroughfare.
Yeah.
So that's going to make a huge difference. I think I had a great experience at Rave, but I think it's going to be a lot better next year.
Yeah, exactly. I think Rave is only going to get better. I mean, I think all of it is just going to get better, but I think especially for the readers as we start getting this going, I like I said, I met other writers, I met readers, I had fun. I bought a giant hockey duffel bag that was overweight both directions on the plane. I so it was this whole experience that was like a hoot. It was great. So I plan to do it next year.
Yep, I'm already signed up.
Yep.
Definitely worth the money. If you're a serious indie author, I really think it's worth the money.
Yeah.
So,
And if you can't afford it, the virtual conference, I mean it's not just going to be like a virtual ticket to watch videos on YouTube. It's actually going to be like a virtual conference. They're having watch parties, and speakers are going to come back in and talk. So if you can't afford to go or the timing doesn't work out, I think don't discount the idea of a virtual ticket because they very much want to get this information out to help writers.
Yeah, so that's our personal download on
Yeah,
AuthorNation. We're going to be back with a lot more on this conference because we got a lot out of it, and we want you to hear from other authors about this as well.
yeah, yes.
Next
So
time.
we'll bring back more for you. Thank you so much for joining us. Now we got to go right. You got to go right. And we hope to see you soon. Oh, and yeah, we're it's Thanksgiving week here. So I don't know when this video is going to go out, but happy
So,
holidays to everybody as well.
yeah, happy Thanksgiving.
Yeah, take care. Bye.